Hi, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the very first video on this YouTube channel. My name's Ian and today we're going to talk about Newcastle United. So since the end of the Premier League season, it's been absolutely mental at Newcastle United. The most important thing was Rafa Benitez getting a new contract. So talks went on about a week after the end of the season. Rafa Benitez talked to Mike Ashley, met Mike Ashley in London, chatted to him, and then since then we've heard nothing at all. Apparently they were still in touch with each other over emails and phones and all that kind of stuff. The initial meeting apparently went well. Rafa hasn't quit, so that's a positive. But what is going on? Well, this week it went even crazier at Newcastle. I mean, following this club is absolutely nuts at times, and this is just another example. So the news broke on Sunday night that Newcastle United had been sold to a sheikh from the United Arab Emirates for £350 million. The Sun reported that the club had actually been sold already and that it was a done deal and that everything would be announced. But this being Newcastle United, of course, things weren't as straightforward as that. Why would they be? So the news broke just before midnight on Sunday night, about 11 o'clock at night. All the North East based journalists, they were all basically in bed. It was bank holiday weekend, and they were all caught off guard. Not a single one of them knew anything about it. The only person who apparently knew anything about it was a Sun journalist, and who had claimed that the deal was done. Now, this obviously led to frantic kind of calls and getting in touch with people from these journalists based in the North East to find out as much information as they could. So by Monday, the expectations had been reduced. The club hadn't, in fact, been sold, but a bid had definitely been submitted and accepted. And really, since then, I mean, it's obviously Wednesday now. Since then, that's kind of still where we are. But there's been twists and turns. There's been, I mean, by Tuesday, it was almost like the deal was just a joke and it wasn't happening. We couldn't trust anything, and lots of journalists saying be cautious but optimistic, or don't want to dampen your excitement, but this isn't looking like the deal we thought it was. And so really, what is going on? No one really knows. Okay, so this is what the statement says. In consideration of the numerous speculations in regards to the timelines of the acquisition of Newcastle United Football Club by Zayed Group, we feel the need to issue this statement. Terms have been agreed between us and Mike Ashley. These terms have been reflected in a document signed by both parties. Interesting. Which has been forwarded to the Premier League. Also interesting, and I'll come back to why that's interesting in a minute. The proof of funds statement was forwarded to Mike Ashley's lawyers on the 17th of April 2019. So over a month ago. Like a month and 2 weeks ago almost. The so-called fit and proper Premier League process is a standard procedure which will take time, and we are doing all we can to assist the Premier League during this process. We feel the need to clarify this point in order for the fans and the general public to understand the timelines. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things there. Number one, the Premier League have denied any kind of knowledge of this. They've denied any kind of paperwork being submitted, and yet in this second statement, they're saying terms have been agreed between us and Mike Ashley, and these terms have been reflected in a document signed by both parties, which has been forwarded to the Premier League. Now, clearly, the Premier League probably have a non-disclosure kind of policy. They're not going to be able to say, oh yeah, we've definitely received this. So perhaps this is genuine, and the Premier League are just, because it hasn't legally gone through, or for whatever reason, maybe they're just, they're not allowed to say anything. So. But then it's, who do you believe? What do you believe? Do you believe the Premier League? Do you believe the Zayed Group? I mean, there's been no comment from Newcastle United and Mike Ashley, which is my other point. So the proof of funds statement was forwarded to Mike Ashley's lawyers on the 17th of April, as I said, ages ago. But the silence from Newcastle United is deafening here. There's been two statements now from this group who want to buy the club, allegedly, and we've heard nothing from Newcastle United at all. Nothing at all. Now, there's people speculating that that's because Mike Ashley, and basically Mike Ashley might be the only one who knows and is very, very close inner circle. And essentially the people at Newcastle United Football Club who are there day to day just don't know anything. They're just not told these things. So, this could be happening. It might not be happening. And we don't know. I mean, it's just crazy. This is just a stupid situation to be in. Everyone's speculating, everyone's excited, but, you know, what are we excited for, really? It's one of those, we'll believe it when we see it things. Obviously, as a Newcastle United fan, I'm praying that this happens. I mean, forget about forget about who's buying the club at the moment, and the potential moral and ethical kind of positives and negatives, which I'm sure if this happens will, you know, that's going to get talked about clearly. But, you know, we just want rid of Mike Ashley. You know, we just want rid of him. 12 years he's been there. 12 years we've had of not reaching our potential, not signing enough players, not having a paper thin squad, not challenging in any cup competitions. You know, most Newcastle fans are realistic. Newcastle United are not going to challenge for the Premier League. We're not stupid, we know that. But Newcastle United absolutely should be able to challenge in their cups. Look at the teams who've won the FA Cup and the League Cup over the years. There's no reason why Newcastle United can't be competing for those tournaments every season. Perhaps finishing 7th occasionally, if everything's gone really well, getting into Europe, that kind of thing. You know, before Mike Ashley came in, Newcastle United were frequently in Europe. Most seasons, from Keegan getting us into the Premier League until Mike Ashley took over, most seasons Newcastle United were a European team playing European football most seasons. There's only about 4 or 5 English teams who've played more games than us in Europe. So we do have a good history in European competition. So there's no reason why Newcastle shouldn't be part of that. All we want is a bit of hope. All we want is a bit of, you know, excitement. We just want to go and see our team play. We want to see our team perform well, do well. Just have some hope that we're going to do something, not just survive in the Premier League and then are we going to buy anyone? Are we not going to buy anyone? Is our manager going to have to rely on getting clever loan signings or not? Are we going to be able to actually buy players? You can't build long term if you're relying on loan signings. You know, like Rondon this season, absolutely amazing. Brilliant signing. Currently, we have the option to buy him, but is the money coming forward? Well, Mike Ashley's policy is that 30-year-olds and over, they're too old. There's no value in them. There's no value in them. Is this guy nuts? There's no value in a player who's scoring goals to keep it in the Premier League. It drives me mad, and this is what we've had to put up with for, 12 years with Ashley. We've had probably 1 or 2 good seasons. We've had 2 relegations, and every season's a gamble. We could get relegated at any point under Mike Ashley. Thankfully, Rafa Benitez has been amazing for the last 3 years. He's stuck with us. He loves the club, and I dread to think where we would be without him. So that's where we are with the takeover. This group are claiming that the takeover's going ahead. Well, not that it's going ahead, but that they've agreed terms. Lots of cold water being poured on that by all kinds of people. It's going to take time. It's going to take until the end of June. In the meantime, Rafa Benitez's contract's running down. It's a bit of a mess. And it is a mess because if this doesn't happen, it's been another couple of weeks since those Rafa Benitez talks, and that is dangerous because without Rafa Benitez, we will get relegated. Players will leave and we will get relegated. So that's where we're up to. Let's see what happens over the next 24, 48 hours. I'm sure there's going to be loads more speculation, loads more twists and turns. This is a story that's probably not going to go away anywhere soon, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens, won't we? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Click subscribe. I'm going to be doing loads more videos about Newcastle United. Women's World Cup coming up. We're going to be hopefully doing some vlogs during the Women's World Cup. Really excited about that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.